Hey guys, how's it going? Today's video is going to be a book tag. This is the Snow Day Reads tag. It was originally created by Elizabeth Ann, who I'm going to have linked down below. And as always, I'm going to have the original video and all of the questions there as well. This is a really fun, wintry, cozy tag that just gives me all the wintry vibes. It's snowing outside and I was just really in the mood for this type of thing. So I figured this would be perfect for today. Question number 1, The Frozen Spoon. What book do you feel the need to come back to year after year? Now, she explained in her video that this is from the old superstition, I guess, that if you sleep with a frozen spoon under your pillow, it's gonna snow the next day. We didn't do that where I live. We had a lot of other, snow day traditions to try to, get the next day off school. I'd say the main one was probably wearing pajamas inside out the night before. But the story that I come back to year after year is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, but in this format. This is a little advent calendar book set, and it is one of my favorite things that I own. So here, I'll pull one out just to show you. So they're just these tiny little books. They don't take, any time at all to read. So my parents, when I was growing up, had this exact thing, and it was always one of my favorite traditions. Every night before bed, we would pick one of the stories, and depending on what age we were at the time, we'd each take a turn reading it, and it was just one of my favorite traditions. And then a couple years ago for Christmas, my brother, who worked at a secondhand shop at the time, saw this. Someone had brought it in and donated it, and I had never seen another version of this. I never knew anyone else that had this, and he was able to get one for me, and now I have my own that I read with the cats every single night, and it's just one of my all-time favorite things. Question number 2, The Blizzard. What book could hold you through a snowstorm? For this one, I decided to go with a book that could really distract me from the snow and make me kind of wrapped up in a different world. So I'm going with The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is the story of basically a magical circus that appears and disappears, and there's this magical competition kind of going on between the two characters, and it is just such a beautiful book. And this is honestly one of the most atmospheric books I have ever read, so I feel like regardless of what it's doing outside, this book could just transport me into the night circus because you really feel like you're there when you're reading this book. And I also think that this is a good book to read while it's snowing because I think that snow and magic just pair so well together, and especially this type of magic I think just pairs really well with a stormy blizzard outside, so I think this would definitely be an excellent book to read during a blizzard. Question number 3, Snowed In. What book have you not finished that you could binge if you were snowed in? For this one, I don't actually have the book with me right now because my dad is borrowing it, but that is the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson. I love binging big, heavy fantasy books with lots of world building and long series, and there's only, I think, 4 books that are out now. So I think that if I knew I was going to be snowed in and just wanted to binge a series, I think that would be an excellent one to choose once I get it back from my dad. Maybe he could bring a shovel over at the same time. Question number 4, Hot Cocoa, a book that is just as sweet, cozy, and nostalgic as hot chocolate. For this one, I knew I had to go with something by Roald Dahl. I decided to go with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I think that anything Roald Dahl is just comforting and cozy and nostalgic and just makes you feel safe and warm and happy for a time. So as soon as I saw this question, I knew that it was going to be something by him, and I think that this book would just be a great choice because hot chocolate, Chocolate Factory, Question number 5, The Sledding Hill, a fast-paced, exciting read. For this one, I'm going to go with Dreadnought by April Daniels. This is the first book in the Nemesis series. I don't think I can put into words how much I love this book. Every time I try to talk about it briefly in a video, I just go on and on and on for 20 minutes about how much I love this book. This is the story of a young closeted teen who ends up witnessing the world's most powerful superhero die right in front of her, and when that happens, his powers are passed on to her. And one of the things that the powers do is it automatically transforms you into your ideal version of yourself. So usually in the past, people, they get a little bit taller, a little bit more muscular, defined jaws and stuff. So when she gets the powers, she physically transitions. And at first she thinks it's amazing because all of a sudden she has what she's wanted, and then she realizes that she still has to go through all of the other hurdles, all of the hate, and also now it's on a nationwide scale, and it's so much. And also, during all of that, there's somebody who just murdered the world's most powerful superhero. There's supervillains now after her, and It's very fast-paced. It's fast-paced, but not in a way that you feel like you have to catch up. Like, I read this so quickly because I just could not put it down, but there's so much going on. You have so much happening with Dani and her struggles and just how she's trying to cope with everything. And then you also have her, you know, trying to fit in with the other superheroes and how the superhero politics kind of affect things. And then on top of that, you have someone trying to take over the world, and it's just so many different layers. And I really like that the stakes are just as high and just as desperate at every single level. Like, someone taking over the world is treated the same as, you know, her abusive family. And I just love this book so much. Yes, it's fast-paced and it's beautiful and wonderful and it's the best. Question number 6 is Snow Walks, a winter book you think everybody should read. I'm gonna go with anything from the Chronicles of Narnia series. I love the series, and I think it has those like wintry vibes, especially in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe when they go over to Narnia for the first time, and you know, the Snow Queen and snow, obviously wintry, etc. But I think that this is just such a great story for transporting you into this world and just such great cozy vibes. And this book, for so many people, was their introduction to fantasy and to fantasy worlds and to the thought that magic might exist. And I just really love that. I think that that's really something that's very special. I never read these as a kid. I read them for the first time as an adult, but I still had part of that feeling, even though it wasn't, you know, my first introduction to magic and to fantasy. It was just still a very powerful reading experience, and I absolutely loved the process of reading these books. So I think that if anybody else hasn't read these books, you should. Question number 7 is The Silence of Snow, a book that reminds you of the quiet that comes with softly falling snow. This book isn't necessarily quiet, but it was one of the first ones that popped into my mind when I saw this, and that's going to be Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. If you don't know, this is a very beautifully written, like almost poetic story about a boy named Laszlo Strange who is obsessed with the magic world of Weep, but Weep is not its name. Its name was magically erased from everyone's head, and a lot of people don't even think that this place even existed and that all of these stories are just made up. And this book is another one that's really heavy on the atmosphere. It's not necessarily that this book is silent, but this book makes the rest of the world go silent, because when I was reading this, I was so wrapped up in the book itself, in the wording, in the world, in the characters, and just in the way that it's written. Nothing else existed in the moments that I was reading this book. And I think that that is just something that is absolutely incredible, and just the vibe of magic. Again, magic and snow, they go hand in hand, and I think that this book really captures that type of magic. And finally, question number 8, Hot Toddy, a book that could cure your sniffles after a day out in the snow. I'll be honest, I had no idea what a hot toddy was until after this, so I was just thinking of any book that would cure sniffles. And this book actually caused a lot of sniffles, but I'm going to go with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the story of Evelyn Hugo, who is a Hollywood icon. She is well known for having 7 husbands. She's always been very reclusive, doesn't do a lot of media appearances, doesn't kind of open herself up, and then she finally decides to do this tell-all interview with this reporter, and she is here telling her life and the story of her 7 husbands and other stuff. The reason why I said that this would give you sniffles is because I bawled like a baby reading this. I originally read this on audiobook, which is good because I was crying so hard. I don't think I would have been able to physically read it. Like, I would have needed to take a break, and I did not want to take a break. I just wanted to keep going. I never wanted it to stop. But I feel like this book is kind of like a cure-all, you know? Like, if you're happy, read Evelyn Hugo. If you're sad, read Evelyn Hugo. If you're mad, read Evelyn Hugo. If you want badasses, if you want pain, if you want, like, heartbreak and celebrating of love and whatever you want, just read Evelyn Hugo. And there we have it. That was the last question. This tag was so fun, and I'm just feeling all cozy and wintry. Again, all the questions are going to be in the description below, so if you want to do this tag, please do, and definitely let me know because I want to see what other books people picked for these prompts. I'm really curious. But that is going to be all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please click the like button to let me know, and subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of my videos. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, usually reading or writing related. So I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye!